Good morning. You're listening to Slices of Wenatchee. We're excited to bring you a closer look at one of our top stories and other important happenings every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Today, ever wonder what happens when strangers gather over tea and cake to talk about death? In one Wenatchee group, that's exactly the point. Before we continue, have you joined Neighbor yet? If not, download the app today and join local conversations about issues that matter. Neighbor is a site just for our local community focused on facts, not misinformation. Best of all, it's free for everyone. To learn more, visit wenatcheeworld.com/NABUR. Now, let's jump in. On the first Wednesday of every month, a quiet room in the Artworks building fills with people ready to have one of the most avoided conversations in our culture. What it means to die, and in turn, what it means to live. This is Death Cafe. Not a therapy session, not a support group. Just a space where anyone can show up, grab a cup of tea, and share their thoughts, fears, and hopes about the end of life. Wenatchee's Death Cafe was started by 4 women: Jill Mielson-Farrell, Jillian Eggers, Opal Hopkins, and Dana Bozick, who all had personal experiences that made them realize how little room most people have to talk about death. They held their first meeting in November, inspired by a global movement that began in London in 2011 and has since spread to thousands of communities around the world. The goal is simple, they say, to increase awareness of death with the idea that doing so helps us live more fully. What sets the Death Cafe apart is its structure, or lack of it. There's no presentation, no agenda, and no one trying to guide the conversation or sell a service. As Nielsen-Farrell put it, it's really about showing up and seeing where the conversation goes. She explained it's just literally a space in which people can process their thoughts and emotions around death and dying. Each meeting begins with introductions, just names and what brought each person there. People are invited, not required to share, and usually attendees get 5 to 7 minutes each to speak, and everyone else listens. Bozick described the setting as quietly focused, with people leaning in, offering presence rather than advice. She said you could feel that togetherness, like a bubble around. Let's just have this time to really talk to each other. It's a conversation that looks different every time. One person might talk about the recent death of a loved one. Another might bring up fears about aging or illness. Someone else might speak about spirituality, legacy, or practical planning. The power of the gathering, the organizers say, comes not from having answers, but from having room to ask questions. Though still in its early days, Wenatchee's Death Cafe is already creating ripples. Attendance has ranged from 8 to 15 people per session, and the organizers are hopeful the space will continue to grow. Eggers said she'd love to see more diversity in the room, different ages, backgrounds, and perspectives. She said, "I think Wenatchee needs togetherness. That's what I hope for, a connection." Part of that need, the group believes, comes from timing. In the wake of a global pandemic, amid personal and collective grief, conversations about loss and mortality are rising to the surface. Hopkins said that in her work and community circles, death is showing up in many forms, from the personal to the global, and yet very few places exist to talk about it out loud. While the subject may be heavy, the tone is often hopeful and even healing. There's laughter, storytelling, and moments of stillness. There's no pressure to say the right thing, just an invitation to be human. And in a world where conversations about death are often avoided until it's too late, the simple monthly gathering is quietly changing that. For more, head over to wenatcheeworld.com. Are you passionate about the issues shaping North Central Washington? Then you won't want to miss the Wenatchee World Forum at Pybus. This monthly event brings together newsmakers and the community to dive into the topics that matter most. It's your chance to engage, ask questions, and be part of the conversation shaping our region's future. Have questions or need more info? Visit wenatcheeworld.com/forum. Now, a few other stories you should know about. Apple Blossom royalty candidates got a first-hand look at the region's biggest crop this week during a behind-the-scenes tour of Columbia fruit packers. From AI-driven grading systems to controlled atmosphere storage that puts apples to sleep, candidates learned how technology, global trade, and local expertise shape the journey from orchard to grocery shelf. For some, like Brianna Machado and Brielle Precht, who come from orchard families, the experience offered a meaningful new perspective on a familiar world. Wenatchee Police Chief Edgar Reinfeld will now receive a $2,470 monthly stipend for his ongoing service as interim city administrator. The City Council approved the payment Thursday, nearly 5 months after Reinfeld stepped into the dual role following Laura Gloria's departure. Mayor Mike Poyer says the stipend reflects the increasing workload Reinfeld has taken on, though the chief never requested it. Even with the added cost, Poyer noted the city is saving roughly $17,000 a month while the search for a permanent administrator continues. After nearly 3 decades in law enforcement, East Wenatchee Assistant Police Chief Eric Hampton is retiring. Hampton joined the department in 2021 after a long career in Yakima and made his mark locally by spearheading public outreach efforts, participating in regional SWAT and crisis response, and launching the Guns and Hoses charity event. He's moving on to a new role with the Public School Employees of Washington Union. Police Chief Rick Johnson says the assistant chief role will remain unfilled for now to help balance the department's budget. The Shalane Douglas Land Trust is reflecting on 4 decades of conservation work and dreaming big for the next 10 years. As part of its 40 for 40 series, former board member Andy Dappin highlighted the group's achievements, from protecting over 27,000 acres of natural lands to expanding trail access across north-central Washington. Despite early skepticism, the trust has become a respected voice in regional planning. Looking ahead, Dappin envisions expanding foothills access, protecting wildlife corridors, and building partnerships to secure more public land and river habitat. The Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce will host its 25th annual banquet this spring, celebrating standout businesses and nonprofits from across the region. The event takes place Thursday, April 16th at the Wenatchee Convention Center and will honor the 2025 Business and Nonprofit of the Year winners. Finalists include Cascade Auto Center, Top Tie, Norwood Wine Bar, the Shalane Douglas Community Action Council, Wenatchee Public Library, and Pybus Public Market. Tickets are available now, with early pricing for chamber members through March 1st. Thanks for listening. For more information on all the stories you heard today, visit us at WenatcheeWorld.com. The Wenatchee World has been engaging, informing, and inspiring North Central Washington communities since 1905. We encourage you to subscribe today to keep your heart and mind connected to what matters most in North Central Washington. Thanks for starting your morning with us, and don't forget to subscribe to Slices of Wenatchee wherever you listen to podcasts.